Good morning, students. This lecture is in continuation to the yesterday's lecture that was held on the sonnet Lotus by Toru Dutt, she's an Indo-Anglian poet. So yesterday, as we discussed the sonnet interpretation, so just to tell you a few more things, few critical comments and something about the poetess. So Toru Dutt. In England, she continued her higher French studies while living in Cambridge between 1871 to 73. She attended the higher lectures for women at the university. Toru Dutt met and befriended Mary Martin, the daughter of Reverend John Martin of Sydney Sussex College. The friendship that developed between the two girls at this time continued in their correspondence after Toru's return to India. A collection of Toru Dutt's correspondence includes her letters written from England to her cousins in India. So Toru Dutt was a natural linguist, and in a short life, she lived only for 21 years. She became proficient in Bengali, English, French, and later on Sanskrit. She left behind an impressive collection of prose and poetry. Her two novels, The Unfinished Bianca or The Young Spanish Maiden, written in English, and Lee Journal, written in French, were based outside India with non Indian protagonists. Her poetry comprises a chef claimed in French fields consisting of her translations into English of French poetry and ancient ballads and legends of Hindustan, which compiles her translations and adaptations from Sanskrit literature. Now, students, just to give you these notes, I have given you the reference. So, explanation. As I told you, Toru Dutt was an educated young woman who had traveled to Britain and France during her childhood. British literature and culture influenced her and is demonstrated in various works by Toru, including this poem, The Lotus. So, mix of Western and Eastern culture. So, in the poem, Toru presents the idea that the lotus is the most beautiful of all flowers in order to establish superiority of the Hindu religion over other world religions. The lotus begins with a conflict between the rose and lily flower. The goddess of love, Aphrodite, approached the flower goddess, Flora, to create a flower who would undisputably be the queenliest of all flowers. Both the lily and the rose use their bards of power in their fight over the queenless flower title. Bards is associated with Gaelic spiritual power traditions of England, Scotland, and Ireland. Toru uses Greek and Roman mythology as support for her Hindu beliefs and to establish her stand. The rose is described as never reaching the level of the lily flower because the lily has a strong willed demeanor. In line 8 of the poem, we reach the climax where all the flower groups form cliques in a better conflict within the soul's essence. The goddess Flora is given a task of creating a flower as delicious as the rose and stately as the lily in her pride of the poem describes the solution to the problem 9 to 14, that is sestet. So you have been given the solution to the problem, that who is the most queen list of all the flowers. So, as a result, Flora creates a flower with the characteristics of a rose and a lily combined and created the beautiful lotus flower. Why did Toru choose the lotus flower as the queen list of all flowers? The lotus is a national symbol of India and the Hindu faith. The overall theme of the poem is the pride of India's culture and Hindu religion. The idea of Hindu being the ultimate religion of the world is the main focus of the lotus. Hinduism is polytheistic in nature and beliefs are practiced through idol worship. The idols can be human, animal, or natural, such as the sun god. Each idol has a form of symbolism, which represents knowledge, wealth, and strength, among a few things. Toru wanted to acknowledge her Indian background for others to understand her love for her native country, India. Although she had traveled and received her education abroad during her childhood, she still believes India to be her home. Indian tradition explains the lotus flower springs not from the earth but from the surface of the water and will remain pure and unblemished. Not no unblemished because it is rising not from the earth but from the water. The purity of the lotus expresses the idea of supernatural birth and the appearance of the first created entity from the ancient waters of chaos. Thus, the lotus is observed as the medium of the Hindu creator Narayana and his second being God Brahma. Toru uses the idea of Greek and Roman goddess to create a Western understanding of Hinduism and its divine faith of the lotus. Toru had an ability to excel in her writing at a young age and is one of the most famous Indo-Anglian poets of India. She mastered the lotus is a Petrarchan style by separating the poem into two divisions, the octave and sestet. Toru was able to present the problem of searching for the queenliest flower in the octave, which was composed of the first 8 lines, and resolve the issue by creating the queenliest of flower in the sestet. So, she uses the rose and the lily in the poem to describe the west and the east. The lily is a representation of the white race and the rose depicting the reddish skin tone of the eastern race, such as her native India. Thus, the poem The Lotus indicates a fusion between the west and the east. Although Toru herself was raised as a Christian with Western ideology, she was able to relate herself back to her eastern roots of India in the sonnet. So, the lotus is a representation of Toru and her cultural encounters living in Western Europe. So, you can see the great influence of native India on her through this sonnet. Thank you, students. Thank you for patience. So, we shall continue tomorrow.